Welcome. If you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis or osteopenia, that's probably as a result of something like a DEXA scan, right? A test that they do to measure the health and the density of your bones. And generally those tests focus on the spine and the hip area, but they don't focus on your wrist. And while many of the fractures that happen due to osteoporosis are in the back and the hips, the wrist is about 15% of those. And as we get older, particularly people by the age of 75, wrist fracture becomes much more common. So we want to do weight-bearing kinds of exercises that strengthen our wrist and also strengthen our grip. So this practice for you today is going to focus on grip strength and on arm strength. And for that, I'm going to invite you to get 2 hand weights. Mine are about 2 pounds. I would say if you're not used to working with weights, start with 1 pound, or even grab a couple of plastic water bottles. And you're also going to need a block. So grab your props and let's get started. All right, so to warm up, let's stand in mountain pose for a moment and do just some rotations to start getting some blood flowing. So start by rolling your shoulders up and back and down. You can inhale them up, exhale them back and down. Let's do 2 more. Good, and then let's bring a little movement to our spine. So we're gonna dip to one side and inhale to center and dip to the other. And this movement, right, helps to lubricate the joints. But we want to keep mobility in our spine. And if you've been diagnosed with a osteoporotic fracture in your spine, you can be a little fearful of movement. Let's do 1 more and come back to center. Let's now start to get those hands and wrists going. So on an inhale, start to take your arms out to the side, but twirl your wrists as you reach those arms all the way up. Pause, lengthen through your fingertips, and now reverse the circles of your hands and bring them back down by your side. Let's do that again. We're going to inhale, circling the wrists up. Doesn't matter which direction you start. Pause, and then exhale, twirl them down. And do that 1 more time with me. Inhale, wrist twirl. We're just bringing some mobility into those wrists, and then exhale, coming back down again. Good. To get our lower body ready, let's step the feet a little bit wider and make some circles with your pelvis. Remember, the hip is one of those common places for fractures. So we want to keep the muscles here supporting. Let's go the other way. We want to keep some mobility here because when we tend to walk with a shuffled walk as we get older and be fearful of falls, that actually increases our risk. And then bringing your feet closer together, hands on your knees, circle your knees a little bit so your weight's going to shift. You'll feel that movement in your ankles. And go the other way. Good. And then come back up to standing, shake everything out. And pause for a moment. All right, let's grab our props and get started. So I have my 2 weights and I'm going to take my block. I'm going to take it on the narrowest width and I'm going to bring it just above my knees and step my feet in, feet facing forward, and squeeze the block so that I'm starting to activate the muscles of the legs. So it's the muscles hugging the bones that actually start that whole bone building process. And then I'm going to take a weight into each hand. And we're going to start in a mountain pose. And what we'll do is move in and out of each pose a couple of times. And then we're going to stay for several breaths. So on an inhale, turn your palms outward and take your arms out to the side and up overhead. Let your hands come overhead, pause, and then exhale. Slowly with control, lower them down. Now if this bothers your shoulders at all, you can come up into a cactus arm. So you can come up and maybe come to a cactus arm, and then lower it back down. So I'm going to show you some variations. Or you can take it in a wide V. So arms come up and back down. So you find the place that feels best for you. Let's do 2 more, whichever you've chosen. And as you come into the pose this next time, we're going to stay. So we want to take 4 long breaths. So as you inhale, stretch and lengthen from your feet all the way through your hands. As you exhale, soften. Take another breath in, lengthening, reaching through your hands and through the soles of your feet. Exhale, soften slightly. 2 more breaths. Inhale, lengthen. lengthen. So this is holding is where we're building bones. One more time. And exhale, lower your arms down by your side. Good. If your shoulders bother you at all, give them a little roll. Good. Now we're going to move into chair pose. We're going to again use the block, and as we bend our knees, we want the knees to come forward, and the block's going to help us to do that. I want you to imagine as you come into chair pose that you're actually sliding down a wall. So rather than bending forward, I really want you to bend your knees and keep your torso upright. That might mean that you don't go as deeply, partly because of the block. Right? So take a breath in, and as you exhale, draw the belly in, bend your knees, sink your hips, and reach your arms forward. They can come just to shoulder height. And then inhale, press into your feet, and come back up to center. Let's do that again. So exhale, reach, and inhale, and back to that starting place. We'll do 3 more. So bending the knees, belly draws in, inhale, press into those feet. Make sure you're squeezing the block. 2 more. Reaching and coming back to standing. And this last one is where we're going to hold. So bend your knees, reach the arms forward, and breathe for 1. And exhale for 1. Inhale for 2. And exhale for 2. Inhale for 3. And exhale for 3. Last time, inhale for 4. And exhale for 4. As you inhale, lower your arms, straighten your legs. Good. Let's take the weights into one hand, and you can put your block off to the side. Right? And again, take a moment to wiggle, jiggle, move in any way, and notice the strength that you're building. We're going to move into a warrior 1 pose next. So turning to face the short end of your mat, step your left foot forward and your right foot back. And I always want you to think about alignment of your knee. So take that front knee and bend it, and we want to have the knee over the ankle. Right? When we tend to take it here, it puts a lot more strain on these muscles around the knee, and we have much greater strength when we can have joint over joint. So straighten that knee. Again, the weights are at your side. And as you inhale, you're going to bend the knees, and the arms are going to reach forward and up. Remember, you have those options of a wider arm or a cactus arm. And then exhale, straighten the knee, and bring your arms down. We're going to do that again. Inhale, bend the knee, arms come up. Exhale down. Make sure that you're drawing the belly in to support yourself. 2 more. Arms reach up. And lower back down. And this time we're going to come into the pose and stay. But let's add a little arm movement here. So as you take your next breath in, get tall here. And as you exhale, bend your elbows. Nice, strong pose. Inhale, reach up. So we're working the muscles of the upper back. And exhale, bend the elbows out to the side as if you're creating a goal pose. 2 more. Exhale. Last one. Feel that work in your legs. Good. Take your arms up. And now we're going to turn the palms forward, keeping the legs bent. We're going to take the arms down and behind you at an angle. This is called humble warrior. Inhale, the arms come forward and up with control. Exhale, take them down and behind you. And inhale, forward and up. Down behind you. And forward and up. And take one more breath here. And then straighten your knee, lower your arms, and step forward out of the pose. Again, take a moment to wiggle, jiggle, shake things out. I'm going to turn to the other side of my mat. You're welcome to stay at the same side, but this time right foot forward, left foot back. Again, I always want to check that I have knee over ankle. And we're going to take that same sequence here in Warrior 1. So starting with the legs straight, we're going to bend the knee, both arms will reach forward and up. And then exhale, straighten the knee, come down. We're going to do 3 more. So moving with your breath, nice, slow, even movement. Trying to coordinate the movement with the breath. So the arms rising up through that hold. Inhale. And then moving down by your side through this hold. Exhale. We're going to come up and stay this time. So arms come up. Pause. As you exhale, bend your elbows out to the side. Feel that work in your shoulders. Inhale, reach up. And we're working our grip at the same time. Exhale, bend your arms, reaching up. 2 more. reach up. Good, now turn your palms forward. We're gonna take that lean forward. Right, so it's a nice long spine as the arms reach behind you. We're using the backs of the arms. And inhale, up and forward. Nice strong belly as your arms reach back. And inhale, forward and up. One more time, take it back. Forward and up. Then straighten your knee, lower your arms, and step forward. Good, take a moment to wiggle and jiggle. If you want to put your weights down for a moment and shake things out, you can. We're gonna move into a warrior two next, and these are some of the poses that come from the Lauren Fishman series. So if you don't know anything about the yoga for osteoporosis, by all means, take a look at my blog. I've got several articles there. So take a wide stance. We're facing the long edge of the mat. And I'm gonna start to my right this time. And so I'm gonna turn my foot out, and I'm gonna bring the left toes in about a 45 degrees. And we're gonna move between a couple of poses here. So start with the weights here in front of your chest, right? And we're working our grip as we're holding them. So as you bend your knee, check that alignment, we're gonna open the arms wide, right? And then exhale. Straighten the knee and bring them in. So inhale, open. So we're using some different muscles here in our arms and our chest. Let's do two more. And this time we're going to hold. So the research shows that when we hold the poses, you can look towards your right hand for 30 to 72 seconds. That's when we're getting the most bang for our buck in terms of stimulating our bones to build new bone cells. So we're staying for about 4 to 5 breaths. I didn't count them this time. And now we're gonna move into a side angle. So the front arm's gonna come to your side and the back arm's gonna reach up at a diagonal. And then come back to warrior two. If your leg's hitting tired, you need to straighten it and come back, and please do that. And come into side angle again. So it's bent knee, my forearms resting, the other arm's reaching overhead. And come back to warrior two. Let's do it one more time. Reach. Can you stay here for 4 breaths? Taking a breath in, and a breath out, a breath in, and a breath out. 2 more. Good, from here we're gonna go right into triangle. So I'm gonna straighten that front knee. I'm gonna reach my left arm to the sky and let my right arm reach down towards my ankle. See if you can rotate your chest open as if you were leaning back against a wall. Let's take 4 breaths here. One more breath. Good, and then inhale, pull yourself up to center, relax the arms down. Whew. Roll out those shoulders, turn your feet forward. Take a little movement here and pause. Lots of work. We gotta do the other side though. So once we finish this side, we can start to cool down. Let's turn the other direction. Same thing, we're gonna start with our weights in front. We wanna check that we have that good alignment in our knee. And as you inhale, bend your knee, open the arms wide. And then exhale, come back to center. Keep a nice firmness in your belly. And we're working on grip strength, we're working on arm strength. 2 more. Inhale, back to center. This time we're going to stay. And let's stay for 4 breaths. So inhale, reach. Exhale, soften. Inhale, reach. Exhale, soften, strong in the legs. Reach. And soften, last breath. And now we're gonna come into side angle. So the left arm will come to the left thigh and I'm gonna reach the right arm overhead. Come back to warrior two. Do that again, side angle. And back to warrior two. Lower body, stay steady. We're getting lots of bone building here. Now let's see if we can stay here. So rotate your chest open. See if you can take 4 breaths here. Notice if the exhale is much shorter than the inhale, try and make them even. Last breath. And we're gonna go right into triangle as we straighten our legs. Right, this hand's gonna reach down towards the shin, the other arm straight up to the ceiling. Take 2 more breaths here. Good, and then inhale up to center. Whew, good job. Arms come down, feet turned parallel. Step your feet together, and let's just drop our blocks, our weights off to the side and shake things out for a moment. Ooh, good stuff. Roll your shoulders. All right, let's take a little break from this and start to cool down and give ourselves a chance to rest. So come on down to hands and knees. Onto the floor. You're going to come into a tabletop position, spread your hands wide. So here's another opportunity to bring a little weight bearing into our hands. So spread your hands wide as if they were starfish, right? And feel the weight come into the heel of your hand, but also press down through the knuckles at the base of each of the fingers. And we're going to inhale, lengthen forward, and exhale, let your hips move back towards your heels, keeping your elbows lifted and your head lifted, so we get a stretch in the spine. And you might find that you want to walk your hands a little further forward. So inhale, lengthen forward. So this is a variation of Chakravarkasana, and then take the hips back. Again, don't worry about them getting all the way to your heels. One more time, forward and back. Good, coming forward, one last strength move, right? So we're going to take our right hand up, reach it forward. The weight's coming to the left hand, the knees are supporting you. If you want that extra balance challenge, you can take the left leg back, foot flexed, and hold here. But feel how the hands are working. And then if your knee is up, lower it, lower your hand. And again, move back towards that extended child's pose. And let's do the same thing to the other side, coming to table. Weight's going to come into the right hand, left hand's going to reach forward. You're welcome to stay here or extend right leg back. Gaze is at the floor, neck is long. Really press into that right hand. And then release your knee, release your hand, and again, rock forward and rock back, stretching. And then we're going to come to seated for a moment. So might come to one hip and come to seated on the floor. Not everyone's comfortable sitting cross-legged, so if you need to have one leg out or you're more comfortable sitting in hero's pose, please do that. And let's take a moment to take care of our hands, which work so hard, right? So make some wrist circles here. Go the other way. Good, extend one arm forward, take the other hand to the palm, and gently draw the fingers back so we stretch into the underside of the wrist gently. And then let the fingers go towards the floor, stretch the top of the wrist. And let that go, shake out that hand. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So fingers come forward as if you're saying stop, right? And we gently press the fingers back, stretch into the wrist, and the elbow is straight as you do this. And then take the fingers towards the floor. And again, I'm using my hand to just help press the hand down, get that stretch in the top of the wrist, and then shake that hand out. Good. Give your shoulders a little roll. And then to finish our practice, always a good idea to take a little Shavasana. So let your legs go off to the side. You're going to slide down one arm and roll over onto your back. As you come to your back, you might want to bring your knees into your chest and take a gentle rock here. It feels so good to be off of those feet after all that work. And hug the knees in, and then bring the feet to the floor. Your arms by your side. You can keep your feet here or stretch your legs long. Maybe rotate the arms open so palms are towards the ceiling. And take a short rest here. Noticing how your body feels. Appreciating the hard work that you did, the bone building, right? Adding weights in adds a new challenge to poses that might already be familiar to you. Of course, welcome to stay here longer, but when you're ready, bring a little movement into your hands and feet. Stretch your body long, and then extending one arm by your ear, roll to that side. Press into the floor so you can come back up to seated. So I hope that you will come back to this bone building practice again and again. If you have questions about using the weights or about the things you should or should not be doing when you have osteoporosis, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.